All right, my friends, how you doing? It's the Oz man. Today is a new day here in Los Angeles, and I'm actually going to go ride to see a friend of mine's. I guess it's a memorial ride. A friend of mine passed away. It's kind of a sad story. I'll go into it later. I would like to also go to Chopper Fest today, but to be honest, I don't know if I'll be able to make it because I think this whole memorial is going to last most of the day. And I think Chopper Fest closes around 5 o'clock or something like that. But I'm going to see if I can do both. If I can, I'll try. Otherwise, I'll just probably do the memorial ride. Anyway, I'm running super late. My friends are like, dude, did you sleep late? Yeah, I slept late. Hey, it's Saturday. I want to sleep. But I'm going to try to catch up with them. So, why don't you ride with me? We'll see what we can get into today. Go check out this memorial ride. Maybe some Chopper Fest. We'll see. And let's have some fun. Well, sort of fun. The memorial won't be too much fun, unfortunately, but maybe Chopper Fest might be if we can make it there. All right, talk to you later. Follow me along. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Just come for the ride. All right, I'm super late. Everybody's angry at me. But I'm almost there. Get a break here. But it's really sad about Tim. I'm shocked when I heard the news.
I don't even know him. I don't even remember.
Oh, you didn't know him? He wrote a couple of. He was like not a hard. He was more of Natalie's group.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I have met him, and he always seemed cheerful. Always seemed upbeat. But I guess you never know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
That's why I always try to be happy and
But to me, life is magical. I love life. I don't want to die. I have zero interest in dying. I want to live to be 300 years old. I mean, come on. Who wants to die?
That's for another 10 more years. Then you're going to go. No.
Jeff told me he's going to live for 4,000 years. I said, you told me you're going to live for 4,000 years. All right. Well, anyway, we're here at the beginning of the memorial ride. I guess we're riding up through the canyons. Is that the deal? Are we going to stop at his house, or what are we going to do? Nobody knows.
So.
All right. Well.
Just going to ride.
Just going there afterwards.
Oh.
I'm not going to go there.
Well, I might be heading to Chopper Fest later. We'll see. I'm going to see how things go. Chopper Fest is in Ventura today, and I kind of would like to go. So we'll see. I might go by myself, solo ride. But, oh well, it is what it is.
If you want to see it, you see it.
Yeah. So we'll see. See what time this all wraps up, and then I'll decide. All right, we're starting the little memorial ride here. Up here in Santa Clarita, in north of Los Angeles, where Magic Mountain is. Let me get situated here with the group. Everybody's saying, oh, they gotta keep up with us! Come on. All right, so as you might have heard there, got caught up with my friends. They were a little annoyed that I took a long time to get there, but I woke up late. I was sleeping in, But anyway, yes, my friend, one of our biker friends, he passed away by his own hands, unfortunately. So it was kind of a sad memorial ride that we were on, and we, all contributed some money for his funeral expenses. And so it was kind of a mixed emotions there in this ride. But it is what it is, I guess. This physicist that I once saw on TV. He was talking about how your atoms never really die. even when you finally die, your atoms never die. They just move on, and you become part of the universe. But the only thing that doesn't continue is your personality, right? So, you know, yourself, whoever yourself is, doesn't continue, but your atoms continue. So thereby, in a way, you never die. But I don't even know if that's true. I don't think anybody knows what happens after you die. I guess whatever you were before you were born is what you are after you die. So I don't know who knows when you were born. I don't know what I was before I was born, but whatever you were before you were born is, I guess, what you go back to after you die. Speaking of death, there is actually a pretty good movie sort of about what happens to you after you die. It's called Defending Your Life with Albert Brooks. If you ever get a chance to check out that movie, definitely check it out. It's about this guy who dies, and he kind of goes to a purgatory thing or a purgatory place, and he has to defend his decisions of his life. And basically, it's kind of a little bit of a love story and a comedy. But the cool part, the cool moral of that story is that it just basically says when you're alive and you're living your life, go for your dreams. Don't live in fear, and just grab the opportunities when they come. And I always like that. So if you get a chance, check out that movie. It's a great movie about the afterlife.
Stop because he gets distressed.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No worries. It is what it is. So we're taking a little break because my friend Johnny, he's got some hip issues. We're taking a little break at this gas station on the Memorial Line. So far, it's a pretty nice ride. A little cold. I wish I brought my gauntlets, but oh well. No, I was just saying, this morning I was thinking, should I wear gauntlet gloves or regular gloves because the weather's been hot, but now I regret not wearing my gauntlets because it's cold up here. So.
Are you cold?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Because this jacket doesn't have much
My apologies
insulation.
if I startled you. I should have been a little right. Sorry.
You should have just give me a little warning.
I should have been a little right. You're right. Sorry. Won't happen again.
Well, if you give her $100, she might look the other way. She might forgive you. $100.
Maybe I don't care that much.
All right, let me stretch my legs while we're stopped here. It made a weird noise, so I'm trying to find out. So it looks like it's working. All right, look at the freaks over here. Look at these guys. This guy used to ride with the Angelo crew back in the day. He said, I don't need these guys. I got Angelo. He's never leaving. And look, now he's all alone. Anyway, yeah, let's continue on. Yeah, yeah, that's some of my singing there, you know. On the road again. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, you know, I'm multi-talented, my friends. If you haven't figured that out by watching my videos, you know, as I'm recording this voiceover, there's police in the background chasing somebody. I live in the most. My neighborhood has constantly got police chasing after people. It's getting kind of annoying. I'm trying to make a video here. Last video I made, you know, the police were chasing somebody, and now I'm doing a voiceover here trying to talk about this beautiful Santa Clarita ride that I'm on, and the police are in the background chasing somebody else. I tell you just can't win sometimes, my friends. Anyway, I'm heading up the mountain here in Santa Clarita with my friends. We're doing this memorial ride for my friend who passed away, and you know, it's been a pretty good day, pretty good ride. It was a little cold, but other than that, I would say it was a A+ ride. Smokehouse, so we're gonna have something to eat here, and then I'm not too sure what we do after this. It might be a lot of power. Then my GoPro, I don't know, it seems to just shut off by itself. But I was looking, it seems like it's got a lot of juice, a lot of battery power and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know, these GoPros, you know, more technology. I tell you, I should just go back to get a Polaroid. All right, we're heading out. No Chopper Fest today, unfortunately, but oh well. All right, we had lunch. Some of the people are headed over to my, you know, the person who passed away's home, but I'm headed back down to my part of town. So why don't you join me as we head back? All right, my friends, how you doing? It's the Oz Man. I just got back from the ride. Pretty good ride. I didn't make it to Chopper Fest, unfortunately. By the time I were to get there, Santa Clarita is all the way on the other side of town. Ventura is on the other side near the coast. Santa Clarita is inland. So it just, by the time I got there, they'd be pretty much wrapping things up over there. So I guess I'll have to go to Chopper Fest next year. But anyway, let's go upstairs, and I want to wrap this up, this video up upstairs, because I have a few things I want to chit chat with you guys about. How you doing, everybody? So, wanted to do a kind of a little, what do you call this? Epilogue or whatever, you know, a little wrap up of the video. So I rode up to Santa Clarita to do this little memorial ride for my friend who passed away by his own hands, unfortunately. And you know, we went to get something to eat and dropped off, we all contributed some money and dropped it off to his family. And you know, I'm not sure, this is a kind of a delicate situation, you know, here in the Oz Man channel, the Wizard of Ozzy, whatever you want to call it. I always try to keep things, you know, about boots and leather jackets and stuff, and keep it, you know, a little upbeat. But, you know, how do you talk about something like this? You know, it's kind of, you know, bummer. I just think that, you know, I love being alive. I love the energy of life, and So when somebody chooses to take take their own life, I find it so sad because once like I said in my last video, once your life's over, it's over. There's no more coming back. There's no redos. It's just history, your history. And even if you believe in reincarnation or whatever, okay, well, you get reincarnated into something else or somebody else, but you're not the same person. There was a story about this little girl who, she wasn't. It was a story about a woman who died. She got murdered, and later on, this child who was like 5 years old, whatever, said that she remembered her past life and she lived in the Philippines and she was this woman who got murdered. Long story short, they found the killer of that woman through this little girl, and he's arrested and everything. I guess he's in jail at this point. But this was proof. People bring up this story as proof for reincarnation. Now I don't know if this story is even true, to be honest, but this is a story that I've heard. And that people say, oh, see, reincarnation's real. This little girl remembered her past life and even who murdered her. But I'm like, okay, fine. But that little girl's going to have a whole different life now. She's not going to be living in her old home and hanging out with her whole family. She's got a whole new life. So it doesn't matter even if she remembers. I know a lot of people with mental health issues, and they say that they used to be Elvis Presley or they used to be Marilyn Monroe or somebody famous like that. But I'm like, okay, well, that's nice. But you're Maria Sanchez or you're John Simmons or, you're Joanna Jacobs or whatever. It doesn't matter if you used to be Bette Midler in your past life or used to be the President Roosevelt. Who cares? This is your life now. So, the point I'm trying to make is once your life, once it's over, right? So, to choose to end things on your own, I find very sad because, you leave a lot of people behind who are heartbroken and saddened, and I've always thought of that a suicide as kind of a long-term solution to a short-term problem. Because whatever your problem is, whether you've got money problems or love problems or I don't know, you're depressed, you can do stuff to cure those things. If you got money problems, sell some stuff, file for bankruptcy. If you got love problems, work it out with your spouse or maybe go on to another relationship. If you have emotional issues like you're depressed or what have you, then seek some therapy, seek some mental health care. So just don't choose that dark road. So if you're out there watching this video and you're feeling down or you're thinking about doing something like my friend did, seek some help, my friends. Don't go down that path. Even if you have I have friends who have diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's and all this stuff, but they're still fighting to, they're fighting to the end. They're not going to just say, oh, yeah, let me just call it a day. And one of my friends said, well, what if you went to jail and you got life sentence in jail? Maybe that would cause you to want to end things. Well, yeah, nobody wants to go to jail and nobody wants to go to jail for life. That's true. But still, from what I know about people who went to prison and went to jail, yeah, it sucks. It's not fun. But, you still can they give you ice cream once in a while. You can watch a movie. You can still have a good laugh with your cellmate. I mean, yeah, these are not, these are minor things. And, prison sucks. I'm not going to say it's a good thing. But the point is there's still some joy there. You got visits from your family. You could write a book. You can make art. There's things you can still do. As long as you're above ground, there's still magic in the air, no matter what your circumstances. So I just wanted to kind of say something at the end of this video because I really love being alive. I love it. There's a song by ELO that goes, I'm Alive, from the Xanadu soundtrack. And I've always loved that song. When I was a kid, I heard that, I saw the movie and I heard the song and I thought, what a great song. And it's all about how happy he is to be alive. And in the movie Xanadu, the muses come to life and they're happy to be alive. So you know, be happy to be alive. You know, be happy that you're above ground. I mean, I know this one person who's always complaining about their health and this and that, and they didn't sleep well last night. But they're alive. They can enjoy the day. They can have ice cream. They can have a pizza. They can have fun with their family. But they never focus on that. They just focus on the negative. So try to focus on the positive. I know that's so cliche, and people are like, whatever, dude. You know, you're a heavy metal guy. You're a black metal guy. You're talking about focus on the positive? Well, yes, I am a heavy metal guy. Matter of fact, you should listen to some heavy metal if you're depressed, because metal makes everything great. That's all I'm going to say. Metal makes everything great. Okay? But anyway, I'm digressing. So anyway, other than, you know, it was a good ride. You know, we had a nice ride up in the canyons and everything. My GoPro, I don't know what's the deal with GoPro. You know, it just, every time I think that thing is working, and I'm like, okay, finally it's working pretty good, it fails me. And it just kept shutting down. I don't know. I just don't get the modern technology. But anyway, still a pretty good ride. I didn't make it to Chopper Fest, which, you know, bums me out because I really want to go. But I'm going to try to go next year, so look forward to that. Next week, I'm not too sure what I got planned. I'm going to see what's going on. But I'm, you know, I'll have some video. Like I said, my goal this year, I don't know if I'm going to achieve it, but I'm trying to, is to have a video every week. And I do have a couple trips coming up. I think I'm going to be headed back to the Philippines. I think I'm going to be heading to San Francisco and probably even Florida. So, you know, I'm going to try to do some videos on those places as well. So look forward to that. As far as leather and boots, there is a festival that I'm thinking of going to, but it's a little adult, a little risque. So I'm not sure if I can share it here on YouTube. But it is very leather focused. But, you know, I'll see what I can do. Maybe I'll include that in as well. Anyway, friends, if you need help, I'm going to leave a little phone number here in the description part. Call somebody, get some help, my friends. Or, you know, listen to some good heavy metal. Get yourself some tall boots, some leather jacket, a leather jacket. That makes me feel better. Every time I'm feeling a little down, I'm throwing on some Slayer. You know, they have a great song. Slayer's got the South of Heaven, legendary South of Heaven album. Incredible. I would play the guitar right now, but I don't want to plug it in and everything. But South of Heaven, great song. So, you know, when I'm down, I throw in some Slayer, maybe some, you know, Iron Maiden, you know, Wrathchild, a classic, Wrathchild. And I put on my tall boots, leather jacket, and I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. So until next time, my friends, I hope you ride like the wind, and you, whatever you do, don't let that wind ride you. Unfortunately, my friend, he let the wind ride him. And, you know, it didn't end well. So, my friends, I'm begging you, if you're feeling down, if you got money problems, you got love problems, whatever it is, get some help, okay? Don't choose the dark path, all right? Anyway, until next time, my friends, ride like the wind, don't let that wind ride you, and I'll see you on the next video.